Think about the last time you felt something real watching football. That goal in extra time, that comeback nobody saw coming, the moment your phone blows up because everyone just witnessed the same thing at the same time. That feeling is real. Nobody can manufacture that. But what if I told you that the process deciding where those moments happen, the host country, the location, the whole selection of who gets the World Cup, what if that was never actually about who deserved it? Because I spent weeks going through this. Court documents, FBI indictments, ethics committee findings, official investigations, whistleblower testimony given publicly and on the record. And what I found, with another World Cup almost here, is something every real football fan deserves to know. Hey, I am Leo. Welcome to Footy Leo, and today we are going off the pitch. Before we start, I want to be completely straight with you. Everything in this video is based on documented public record. FBI indictments, court proceedings, FIFA ethics committee reports, government investigations from multiple countries, journalism that has been verified and published over years. I'm not speculating. I'm not going beyond what the evidence actually shows. And the reason I keep saying that is because the actual documented truth is already wild enough on its own. Here is what we are covering today: how the World Cup host selection process was supposed to work, how investigators found it actually worked, and what that means heading into the tournament that is almost here. By the time we are done, you will understand something that most football fans never fully see. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So when FIFA decides it is time to pick a World Cup host, countries that want it go through a formal bidding process. They build a presentation, go through inspections, submit documents, attend meetings with FIFA officials. At the end of all that, a vote happens. On paper, completely reasonable. But here is the first question that started pulling everything apart when investigators got involved. How much does it actually cost to put together one of these bids? According to multiple investigations into the 2018 and 2022 bidding cycle, some nations were spending anywhere from $50 to $80 million not to host the tournament, just to enter the race, just to apply. Sit with that number. The actual administrative requirements of a bid, the documents, the meetings, the inspection trips, those do not come close to $80 million. So where does the rest of the money go? That is the question that started unraveling the entire thing. Now here is the other critical detail about the specific bidding cycle. FIFA was running both votes simultaneously, 2018 and 2022. Same room, same day, both being decided at once. Think about what that creates from a strategic perspective. 2 World Cups on the table at the same time means 2 things you can trade. You want 2022, I want 2018. We make an arrangement, and officially, nobody said anything to anyone. Multiple investigations later found evidence consistent with exactly that kind of exchange happening behind the scenes. But here is what I want you to hold on to as we go deeper. When the rules are deliberately vague, the money is enormous, and the decision sits with a small plaited group, you do not just have a system that is vulnerable to corruption. You have a system that is built to run on it. There is one word that shows up in virtually every investigation into how FIFA World Cup bids have worked over the years. One word that explains a lot, and that word is consultants. Bidding nations hired consultants, not regular advisors, people with personal relationships inside FIFA, people who knew the decision makers. People who could have the conversations that the official bid team could never officially have. And here is the clever part. If you are on the official bid team and someone asks you later, did you approach this FIFA official with any kind of offer or arrangement, you can look them in the eye and say, no, I personally did not. And technically, in the narrowest possible sense, you might not even be lying because you did not have that conversation. Your consultant did. Plausible deniability built directly into the operating model. And this was not one country doing something unusual. Based on what investigators found, this was essentially standard practice across multiple bidding nations simultaneously. Everyone using the same approach, all of them operating in the same gray area that the vague rules allowed them to stay in. So here is the loop I want to open for you right now. This whole structure works. It works brilliantly until one thing happens. Someone on the inside starts talking. And in this story, multiple someones did. which is exactly what takes us to 2015, a luxury hotel in Zurich, and the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation. But before we get there, you need to know 3 names, because 3 figures sit at the center of everything that follows. First name, Sepp Blatter, FIFA president from 1998 to 2015. Nearly 2 decades at the top of world football, arguably the most powerful single figure in the sport during that entire period. Not in terms of what happened on the pitch, in terms of where money went, who received tournaments, which confederations had real influence, who was in the room when actual decisions got made. He resigned as FIFA president in June 2015, 4 days after Swiss authorities arrested multiple FIFA officials on a formal United States government request. He was subsequently banned from all football-related activity by FIFA's own ethics committee for breach of fiduciary duty. He never returned to an official role in the sport. Second name, Jack Warner. Warner was president of CONCACAF for more than 2 decades. He held a seat on FIFA's executive committee. He had votes. He had relationships across a massive portion of the global football structure. He was later banned from all football activity. He faces extradition proceedings from the United States on charges including wire fraud, racketeering conspiracy, and money laundering conspiracy. He has publicly and consistently denied all wrongdoing. Third name, Mohammed bin Hammam. At his peak, bin Hammam was president of the Asian Football Confederation and widely regarded as one of the most influential power brokers in world football. He was eventually banned for life from all football-related activity following FIFA Ethics Committee investigations. 1 FIFA president, 1 confederation giant, 1 regional power broker. All 3 of their stories intersect at the same moment in time, the bidding cycle for 2018 and 2022. And all 3 of them appear repeatedly in the documentation that investigators produced over the years that followed. Keep that question eye opened. With that level of concentrated power inside that kind of system, how does it finally break open? We are almost there. December 2nd, 2010, Zurich, Switzerland, FIFA headquarters. 2 World Cups being decided. 24 men in the room, 13 votes needed to win. For 2018, the consensus across the football world was that England was the frontrunner. England invented the game. The Premier League was already the most watched league on the planet. Their infrastructure was world-class and essentially ready. Russia was also in the field. Most analysts at the time did not put them first. Russia won 2018. For 2022, the field included the United States, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and Qatar. Let me tell you about Qatar for a second, because the context matters. Qatar is a country roughly the size of Connecticut. At the time of the vote, summer temperatures there regularly hit 40 degrees Celsius in June and July, when World Cups are traditionally played. Temperatures that would put players at real physical risk and make being a fan outdoors genuinely dangerous. Qatar also did not have anywhere close to the hotel capacity that an event of this scale would require. On paper, not the obvious pick. Qatar won 2022. Now here's something that most fans still do not know. Buried inside FIFA's official bidding agreements was a clause giving FIFA the authority to change the dates of a World Cup tournament if conditions required it. It did not legally have to be played in June or July. The 2022 World Cup in Qatar was played in November and December. So Qatar's 2 biggest apparent disadvantages, the dangerous summer heat and the scheduling conflict with club football, were both technically solvable through existing FIFA rules, before anyone had even formally raised them as serious obstacles. Multiple investigations into both the 2018 and 2022 votes, including FIFA's own ethics committee work, later found evidence of vote manipulation, improper payments, and undisclosed conflicts of interest surrounding the decision. The investigation into Russia's 2018 bid ran into a specific problem. Multiple hard drives from the Russian bid organization were reportedly found to be destroyed before investigators could get to them. That detail alone is worth sitting with. And now we close the first loop. Remember what I said about a system that doesn't just enable corruption, but is built to run on it. Here is the full picture. When you need only 13 secret votes out of 24, when enormous money moves through deliberately vague structures, when everyone has layers of legal separation protecting them, the question was never which country had the best bid. The question was which country made the best deal. May 27th, 2015, Zurich, Switzerland, Hotel Bauer Alak. One of the finest hotels in the country. Senior FIFA officials are in town for the annual FIFA Congress. Some of them are staying at this hotel. And in the early morning hours, Swiss authorities, acting on a formal request from the United States Department of Justice, walk in and arrest 7 FIFA officials. 7 officials, 5-star hotel, FIFA Congress Week, handcuffs. The United States then unsealed an indictment naming 14 individuals to start, with more coming in the months that followed. The charges included wire fraud conspiracy, racketeering conspiracy, and money laundering conspiracy. The alleged scheme spanned roughly 2 decades, multiple FIFA cycles, and multiple continents, with investigators alleging over $150 million in bribes and kickbacks. Sepp Blatter had been re-elected as FIFA president literally days before the arrests. He announced his resignation 4 days after the hotel raid. He was banned from all football-related activity by FIFA's ethics committee. He never returned to any official role. More indictments followed, more arrests, more resignations. Switzerland opened parallel criminal proceedings. The DOJ described it as one of the most wide-reaching corruption investigations it had conducted involving international sport. One thing worth noting: journalists had been writing about FIFA corruption for years before any of this. Whistleblowers had come forward, books had been published, reports had been filed. What changed in 2015 is that the United States government treated it as what it legally was, an organized criminal enterprise operating across international borders. Once that door opened, it did not close. So where does that leave us today? New World Cup almost here, new FIFA leadership, new stated commitments to transparency, real structural changes on paper. And some things genuinely did change after 2015. Bidding documents are now public, the full FIFA Congress votes instead of a small private executive committee. More official checks are built into the process. That is real, that matters. But here is what has not changed. The FIFA president still holds enormous personal influence over which bids succeed and which ones quietly disappear. The financial relationships between football governing bodies and nations competing for hosting rights are still not something you can trace clearly from the outside. The way commercial deals, television rights, and sponsorship arrangements intersect with hosting decisions still operates behind layers that most people never see. And the most recent major decision, the 2034 World Cup, went to Saudi Arabia with no realistic competing bid. Australia was reportedly exploring a bid and then withdrew. Governance experts widely noted that the process did not look like a genuine open competition. Does that mean anything improper happened this time? Various reviews are ongoing, and I am not going beyond what the evidence shows. But I will say this: when an institution has this documented history, and the structural conditions that created it have not been fundamentally redesigned, the burden of proof runs in one direction. A lot of people are still waiting on that proof. Here is what I keep coming back to after all of this research. Football belongs to the fans. It always has. The people waking up at 3 a.m. in their time zone to watch their team, the kids with a ball in the street dreaming about the World Cup, everyone who has ever felt that specific thing that only this sport gives you. FIFA is supposed to be the guardian of that, to hold the World Cup in trust on behalf of billions of people who love the game. What the investigations, the court proceedings, the indictments, and the people who came forward publicly all showed is that for a significant stretch of time, that trust was treated like a personal resource rather than a responsibility. Every country that built a genuine bid and lost, not because their plan was weaker, but because the outcome was already arranged, that is a loss for the sport itself, not just for those countries. I am still watching every single game of this tournament. That part is not changing. But knowing the full picture makes you ask better questions about who is actually running the sport you love and who they are running it for. If this hit different, subscribe, drop a comment below, tell me what you think. Does this change how you look at the cup that is coming? I'm Leo, see you in the next one.